You pull out your credit card to pay for something. Coffee, groceries, online checkout, doesn't matter. You tap it, swipe it, type in the number. 1 second later, approved. You put the card back and move on without thinking about it for even a moment. But look at the front of that card, that 16-digit number sitting there. You've probably typed it hundreds of times. Maybe you've memorized it. Either way, you've never once questioned what it actually means. Here's the thing. That number isn't random, not even slightly. Every single digit was placed there deliberately, following a system designed over 70 years ago that's still running silently behind every card payment happening on Earth right now. And here's the part that changes everything. Your card number can be verified as real or fake without ever contacting your bank. No database lookup, no phone call, no internet connection required. Just math. A single calculation that takes less than a second and tells any system in the world whether your card number is structurally valid. One man invented that calculation, sitting at a desk at IBM in 1954, trying to solve a completely different problem, and it ended up inside every point-of-sale terminal, every e-commerce checkout page, every banking system on the planet. Let's break down exactly what's hiding inside those 16 digits. Start with the very first number, just that single digit on the far left. It's called the Major Industry Identifier, and it tells the entire global payment system what kind of card this is before anything else happens. If your card starts with a 4, it's a Visa. Every Visa card on the planet starts with 4, no exceptions, anywhere in the world. If it starts with 5, it's a MasterCard. If it starts with 3, it's a travel or entertainment card. American Express always starts with 34 or 37. Discover starts with 6. Cards starting with 9 are reserved for government and national standards. Cards starting with 7 are petroleum industry cards. One digit, that's all it takes to classify the entire card type. The moment a payment terminal reads that first digit, it already knows which network handles this transaction. But that's just the opener. The first 6 digits together form something called the Issuer Identification Number, sometimes called the Bank Identification Number, or BIN. These 6 digits identify the exact financial institution that issued your card. Not just Visa or MasterCard, the specific bank, credit union, or financial company whose name is printed on the card. Chase has its BINs, Bank of America has its BINs. Capital One, Citi, American Express, they all have specific ranges of numbers officially assigned to them by an international standards body. When your card number starts with those 6 digits, every payment processor on Earth instantly knows which institution to contact. This matters more than most people realize. When you swipe your card at a register, the terminal reads those first 6 digits in milliseconds. It doesn't search some massive database. The BIN tells it everything. The transaction gets routed from the terminal to the merchant's bank, through the card network, and directly to your issuing bank, automatically, in under 2 seconds, because of 6 digits. Think about the scale of that. Billions of transactions happen every single day, millions of different cards, thousands of different banks, payment terminals in a gas station in rural Montana and a market stall in Tokyo, both routing transactions correctly because of the same 6-digit prefix system. Here's something most people never think about. Your BIN carries more information than just your bank. It encodes the card type, whether it's credit or debit, personal or corporate, standard or premium. Some BINs are assigned specifically to rewards cards, some are for prepaid cards, some are reserved for virtual card numbers generated by digital wallets. Fraud detection systems use BIN data constantly. If a card with a US-issued BIN suddenly shows a transaction in another country, that mismatch triggers an alert before the transaction even completes. Your bank already knows where your card was issued, what currency it should be used in, and what purchase patterns look normal. The BIN is one of the first signals fraud systems analyze, not because they looked it up, because the information was baked into the card number from the start. After the first 6 digits, the next block, typically digits 7 through 15, is your individual account number. This is the part specific to you. Your bank assigns this sequence when they issue your card. It links directly to your account, your credit line, your spending history, your identity. Banks have flexibility here. Some use those digits purely as an account identifier. Others encode additional information, like which branch issued the card, or whether this card is a replacement for a lost one. Different institutions structure this section differently within their own assigned bin range, but to the outside world, it's your unique address in that bank system. And then there's the last digit, just one number at the very end of the sequence. But this single digit does something none of the others can. It validates everything before it. This is called the check digit. And to understand why it exists, you need to go back to 1950. That year, a businessman named Frank McNamara forgot his wallet at a dinner in New York. His wife had to drive over to pay the bill. It was embarrassing enough that McNamara spent the next year developing a solution. He launched the Diners Club card in 1950, a single cardboard card that allowed members to charge meals at participating restaurants and settle the bill at the end of the month. It wasn't what we'd recognize as a credit card today. It was a charge card. No credit line, just deferred payment. The card itself was paper, then eventually harder plastic. The embossed numbers could be pressed against a carbon form and take an impression. That impression was the transaction record. As the industry grew, Bank of America launched Bank AmeriCard in 1958. Other banks followed. By the early 1960s, there were dozens of competing cards, millions of transactions, and a growing problem. How do you verify that a card number is even real before spending time processing the transaction? Every mistyped digit, every fabricated number, every transposition error was causing systems to query bank records with numbers that didn't exist. Processing errors piled up. The system was inefficient in a way that would only get worse as transaction volume grew. The solution was already sitting in a drawer at IBM. Hans Peter Luhn was a researcher at IBM in the early 1950s. He wasn't thinking about credit cards, he was thinking about error detection, specifically the kinds of errors humans make when they copy down long strings of numbers. Transcription mistakes, transpositions, off by one errors. He developed a simple algorithm for detecting these errors. Run any number through the calculation, and you'd instantly know if it contained a common transcription mistake. He filed the patent in 1954. IBM released it into the public domain in 1960. No licensing fees, no restrictions, free for anyone to use. The credit card industry picked it up immediately. Here's how the Luhn algorithm actually works. Take your card number, set aside the last digit, the check digit. Starting from the rightmost remaining digit and moving left, double every second digit. If doubling gives you a number greater than 9, subtract 9. Add up all the digits, including the ones you didn't double, and then calculate what single digit you'd need to add to make the total evenly divisible by 10. That's your check digit. It sounds like a lot. A modern computer does it in milliseconds. Your phone does it without even noticing. And here's what it catches. Make a single-digit error typing your card number, mistype a 4 as a 7, and the entire check digit calculation fails. The number becomes mathematically invalid. No system needs to contact a bank to know something is wrong. That's why when you mistype your card number on a shopping website, it tells you invalid card number immediately, before the page even sends a request to a server. The Luhn check is running in your browser in real time in the background. It failed before the network was even involved. One algorithm, invented 70 years ago to detect handwriting errors, now embedded in every checkout form, every payment terminal, and every banking system on Earth, checking billions of transactions every single day with less than a second of delay, and an error detection method invented by one man trying to catch handwriting mistakes.
Exactly how the Luhn algorithm works. If you're generating fake card numbers to use in a payment system, they have to pass the Luhn check. You can't just pick a random 16-digit number. The last digit isn't random. It has to be mathematically derived from the first 15. A completely random 16-digit number has about a 1 in 10 chance of passing the Luhn check by accident. This is why stolen card data is so valuable. Real card numbers pass every layer of validation because they were legitimately issued. That's difficult to fake from scratch. You'd need a valid bin range, a structurally correct account number, a mathematically valid check digit, and you'd still fail when the bank confirms the account doesn't actually exist. The Luhn check is the first gate. The bank's own records are the second gate. Fraud systems comparing transaction patterns are the third gate. What looks like a simple tap-and-go payment is actually passing through multiple verification layers in the time it takes you to put your card back in your wallet. Now let's talk about the CVV, that 3 or 4-digit code printed on the back of your card. People often assume it's just part of the card number or another section of the same system. It isn't. The CVV is generated through a completely separate process using a cryptographic algorithm that combines your card number, expiration date, and a secret key that only your bank possesses. The result is that 3 or 4-digit code. Crucially, it is not stored on the magnetic strip. It's not part of the Luhn system. It exists for one purpose: to prove that the person using the card number is physically holding the card. When you shop online and the checkout form asks for a CVV, that's the check. The card number proves you know the account details. The CVV proves you have the actual card in front of you. If someone steals your card number from a data breach but doesn't have the physical card, they don't have your CVV, and the transaction should fail. There's also the question of card number length. Visa, MasterCard, and Discover all use 16 digits. Amex uses 15. The difference comes down to history. Amex standardized its numbering system at a different time, under slightly different conventions. Some cards now use 19 digits. As the global card market expanded, institutions started running out of unique account number combinations within their original bin ranges. The extra digits create more room. The organization managing all of this is ISO, specifically the standard known as ISO/IEC 7812, last significantly updated in 2017. They assign bin ranges to countries and industries, maintain the numbering conventions, and ensure that a payment terminal anywhere on Earth can interpret any card number from any country using the same rules. No central database query required. The number itself contains everything needed to route the transaction. Now, think about what happens when you tap your card on a modern contactless reader. In that fraction of a second, your card broadcasts an encrypted version of your card data. The terminal decrypts it, extracts the card number, runs the Luhn check, reads the bin to identify your bank and card type, routes the transaction through the appropriate network, gets authorization from your bank, and confirms the sale. 2 seconds, sometimes less. Apple Pay and Google Pay take this further. Instead of transmitting your actual card number, they generate a token, a temporary substitute number that's valid only for that one transaction. But even those tokens follow the same structure: valid bin prefix, correct digit count, passes the Luhn algorithm. The infrastructure is so deeply standardized that even the security layer designed to replace card numbers still has to look exactly like one. There are over 3 billion credit and debit cards in active use globally. Every single one of them has a unique number. Every number follows these same rules. Every transaction routes correctly because the number itself is an address. The first digit names the industry, the next 5 identify the bank, the middle digits identify you, and the last digit mathematically confirms the whole thing was written down correctly. The best infrastructure is invisible. You don't think about the electrical grid when you turn on a light. You don't think about water treatment when you turn on a tap. You don't think about the routing system behind your card when you pay for something. But it's there. It has been there, running continuously every single day since the early 1960s. A system designed before the internet, before personal computers, before smartphones, still processing billions of transactions every single day with less than a second of delay, and an error detection method invented by one man trying to catch handwriting mistakes. That 16-digit number on your card isn't a random ID your bank assigned you. It's a routing address, a bank identifier, a personal account code, and a mathematical proof of authenticity, packed in less space than a phone number. Next time you tap your card, you're not just paying for something. You're activating 70 decades of standardization, a Cold War-era IBM algorithm, international banking agreements, and real-time fraud detection, all triggered by 16 digits that most people have never once stopped to think about. That's not a card number, that's infrastructure.